Good morning, boys and girls, and how are we all doing on this totally radical, awesome Saturday morning? I don't know about all of you out there, but in 1987, the Masters of the Universe toy line came to an end, and it marked the end of an era in my childhood. Thankfully, just a few years before, a comic book got started that would pave the way for the next generation of toy collecting. I'm talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Today, we're going to have a very special, awesome, radical episode. We're going to take a look at the brand new Metalhead from the new Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles toy line. And, as a nice, awesome vintage treat, we're going to take a look at the vintage Krang android body. Alright, so sit right back and enjoy. Metalhead made his television debut to Saturday morning audiences on October 27th, 2012, in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon for Nickelodeon. Built by Donatello and a fan favorite among the TMNT fans, this figure comes highly anticipated in the new Playmates toy line, and today we take a look at this figure. Packaged in the exact same TMNT packaging as all of the other first wave figures, this figure's only variance in packaging comes whenever you flip over the packaging and take a look at the figure selection on the back. You'll notice the addition of not only Metalhead, but also Fishman and Dog Pound to the lineup of TMNT figures in this line, and hopefully these won't be the only ones. As you can tell, here is our figure, and he is considerably different from his vintage counterpart. There is absolutely no vacuum seal metal on this figure whatsoever. We've got articulation at the shoulders, so you can move his arms up and down. We've got rotation right around the elbows, so you can turn his arms. And we've got a nice ball joint at his neck, so you can actually pivot his head up and down and turn it left and right. We've got articulation down here at the hips, so you can swivel them and move them up and down. And for the first time on a Metalhead figure, we've got articulation at the knees, so you can actually move and bend his knees and rotate his feet. So if you flip your Metalhead over and take a look at his shell, you'll notice he's got this nice New York City manhole cover style shell pattern going on. And he comes packaged with this fireball accessory. Now you'll note that it doesn't actually spring or fire off in any way. It just slides inside of this hand molded in, or this hole molded into his hand, and you just push the fireball in, and it fits pretty snug and looks good for display. Now if we grab the nice vintage counterpart here, we can actually see the comparison differences. As I stated before, there is absolutely no metallic vacuum seal on this figure like there was on the vintage, and there's no green on this figure in any place whatsoever. We've got this nice flat dull gray and the yellow and some black here and there, and that is absolutely it. No green like what we've got with the vintage figure. Now it's also notable that this figure does not come with the backpack accessory that the vintage figure comes with, or any of his accessories, nor does the new figure have the nice little light see-through eye feature. So considerable differences between the two figures, the vintage and the new, but this figure is still really cool nonetheless, and I'm really happy to add him to my TMNT shelf. So that is going to take care of our look at the new TMNT Metalhead. Alright everybody, so what did you think? Whenever I heard they were doing Metalhead in this new Ninja Turtles toy line, I was absolutely thrilled. Once I heard he was hitting the streets, I couldn't wait to get out there and start searching for him to add him to my collection. And now that I have him, I couldn't be happier. I will say though that I'm really disappointed that they did not choose to go with the vacuum seal metal plating like they did with the vintage figure, but he is really cool nonetheless. So now we're going to take a look at the vintage Krang android body. Krang made his television debut to audiences on December 28, 1987 in the initial 5-part miniseries of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. Hailing from Dimension X and being a major pain in the Shredhead's butt, this figure is much larger in scale than most of the other Ninja Turtle figures in the original series, and today we're going to take a look at this giant figure. Alright everybody, here he is. The mammoth boy himself, the Krang android body. As you can see, this figure is much larger in scale than most Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures in the vintage line, and we will place a Metalhead here for scale comparison. This figure is giant. He's got articulation at the shoulders, so you can move his giant arms up and down. And you can rotate his hands at the wrist. So we've also got articulation at the neck, so you can rotate his head from left and right, and he's got this nice little antenna on top. We've also got articulation down here at the thigh area, so you can lift his legs up and down, but as you can see, due to the articulation limitations, it's really kind of pointless. Other than that, there is no other articulation on this figure. He's very, very basic in articulation. It is notable that the figure is covered in decals to show the electronic android pieces on the inside, and if you flip them over on the back, you can see even more. So the one really cool thing about this figure is his little plastic door actually pops open, and you can pull the Krang figure out. Now I've actually got mine secured in there pretty snugly, so I'm going to leave him in there, but it is notable that that figure is exactly the same as the Krang figure that comes with the little bubble Krang, and they're interchangeable. So this, oh, my clear plastic piece falls right off. So highly sought after, rare collectible, and I'm very excited to have this piece in my collection. And I hope you've enjoyed me sharing them with you. And that will take care of our look at the Krang android body. Alright boys and girls, that's about going to wrap things up for this week. So what did you think? Growing up as a kid, the Krang android body was one of my favorite toys. I was always bashing him into the other turtles, getting him into fights, and eventually I actually lost him. It wasn't until just recently that I was able to add a new, much better condition into my collection, and I'm very excited to have him back. So be sure to stay tuned for next week, and if you enjoyed what you've seen here and what we do at the Pop Culture Network, be sure to check out our website at www.popculturenetwork.com, check out our store at shoppcn.com, and you can also join our forums at jointheforums.com. And until next week, I'm your host, Intern Rick, and take care.